Hello, my name is Ben Root, and I'm with the Lean Learning Academy. Welcome to our podcast series where we have been looking at lean, what lean is, where it came from, why it's important, and most recently we've been looking at the 5 lean principles developed by Dr. Toyota. Today we're looking at the 3rd lean principle, creating flow. We've developed these lessons to help employees who are new to lean learn some of the lean concepts that they can try out in their work area. To learn more, please visit our Introduction to Lean course at the leanlearningacademy.com. I mentioned in a previous podcast how many of our clients come to us to learn lean. To them, that often means that they want to implement Kaizen and just-in-time production, as well as 5S problem solving and on and on. And those are wonderful tools to learn and to apply. But often a client will miss what I think is the key point. Why are you doing this? Without that clear goal or target, students will often think they are being asked to work harder for no apparent reason. The real reason for implementing lean usually has to do with a need to reduce high costs, to improve productivity or quality, or a need to reduce safety issues. Once there's a clear goal that everyone in the organization can relate to, things begin to happen. As a team begins to do 5S because they want to reach a goal or save costs or increase productivity, magic often happens in the workplace. At the Lean Learning Academy, to help students better understand Lean, we offer both on-site and online Lean training. During our online training, students receive a 1 hour per week live online streaming session with one of the Lean coaches from the Lean Learning Academy. These courses are great for teams to learn together. For those of you who are new to our podcast, we began a few sessions ago, and we talked about the overview of Lean and what it means. And then we looked at where Lean came from and why it's important. And next, where to start. And we must have a clear goal so that everyone in the organization understands what it is that we're going to do and how to get there. From there, we began to look at the 5 principles of Lean. And we discussed creating value for the customers. Next, we talked about the value stream and learning to map it or draw it out so that we can see the stream. To do this, we looked at a bakery example and the process of making a cookie in a large commercial bakery. First, we just looked at each step in the process, from cutting the dough to decoration, to packing, and then to the final customer. And then we drew the process from the time the customer ordered the cookie through the baking process until at last the cookie was delivered to the bakery and then to the customer. And you can see when you put that on a piece of paper or on a whiteboard and just draw out the process, the entire team will get involved in making corrections to the process. And they'll start saying things like, look at this and look at this. And that's what the mapping is all about, to get those ideas out in the open and then to solve some of their problems that they bring up. Today, in Principle 3, we're going to talk about making what we've mapped and what we drew out, and now making that flow. I'm using a map that we had clear back at NUMMI. We were training team members about flow, but I think it's a great illustration of what we're trying to say. This is called the ultimate factory. And you can see there's a supplier, somebody bringing the parts. And at the end, there's a sales representative who's taking the parts or product to the final customer. But if you'll notice in the process, there's very little work being done in between the process. The gentleman's bringing some parts, and the employee's waiting for those parts. And then, as soon as that employee works on those parts, he passes them to the next person, and the same with the last person. So nobody works too fast or too slow. They just do one part and then they pass it on. That's also called one-piece flow. We'll talk about that later. But you can see by looking at this, there's a balance line. It's synchronized. It's very simple. You can see when someone's having a problem. It's free of waste, and we'll talk about waste, and it's rationalized. That means everybody can see it and understand what's going on here. In this last slide, I wanted to point out about the entire lean process. Lean is often thought of as being like a symphony orchestra, where everything flows smoothly. One instrument's not playing to a different beat, faster or slower than the rest of the orchestra, and a conductor keeps the process, the music, flowing in a synchronized flow. Everyone in the orchestra knows their part and is in harmony with the rest of the players. Each instrument starts and stops on time. I hope this Lean series is being a help to you and to your team. If you are trying to introduce your team or a group of teams to Lean, we have a great introduction to Lean course that a team can work through together. The course also includes a free 1-hour weekly check-in with one of our coaches from the Lean Learning Academy. That's one free hour of consulting every week. I'm listing a link that will lead to the webinar that explains the course in more detail. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time when we get into the fourth principle, and that is creating whole. See you soon. Bye-bye.